with you. Outside, snow is falling and friends are going. Come on, it's lovely weather, boys are ready.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Football United TV. Thank you so much for tuning in and subscribing recently. We have today a very special show. Man United fan, Indiana, and Man City fan, Yannicka. How are you guys doing?
I'm good, thanks.
Good. Thanks for having me on, man.
Thank you for coming by. Big derby this weekend. We'll just get straight into it, shall we, Yannicka? How do you feel Man City have been doing so far in the Premier League this season?
We've had a bit of a shaky start to the season. I did think before the season started, with us having no pre-season, the players might look a bit tired, which is what happened. We started a bit slow. We had quite a lot of injuries, people out with COVID. I'm not using that as an excuse, but I'm just saying it did affect the way we played. And I think it's only now that we've actually got a fully fit squad. For the first time under Pep, actually, we've got a fully fit squad, which is good. I think the performances and the results slightly differ. Like, I think on paper, you know, you see the results and you think City haven't started that well, but the football we've been playing hasn't been that bad. We just haven't been clinical. And because we haven't been clinical, you know, we've had maybe 5-6 chances that should have gone in, you know, and then the other team have 2 or 3, they go in, and then the scoreline is 2-0 to the other team, and it looks like City are rubbish, but it's not really gone that way. So I think we are improving. We seem to be a little bit more clinical now. So I think we'll do all right over the season, but obviously it's not the best start. We've lost 2 games already, which is quite a lot. Luckily, everyone else seems to be losing as well. You know, there's no unbeaten team at this stage, which is rare. So hopefully we can pick up some form. But obviously the derby is the worst kind of game at this stage.
Indiana's in there, and look, Indiana, we're a bit miserable today, and I'm pretty sure you're happy, Jan, aren't you, about last night's result?
Yeah, do you know what? I grew up in Manchester as a City fan, so I don't have sympathy.
Yeah, like
I got slated as a kid, so.
Well, it's probably United's time right now to be slated, isn't it? At the moment, I said this to Indiana earlier. We probably deserve it. What are you making, Indiana, of United's run recently, especially last night as well? And how do you feel coming up to this derby on Saturday?
How do you put this? It's very up and down. It's very inconsistent. But this is Man United for the last 10 years. Like, this is nothing new. Like, this is why I've said to you and many people many a time, like, the Ollie out is just wasted energy, and it's a lazy thought. Actually, it's very lazy. I find it, like, for me, I'm going to say it now. I haven't said this before. If you're Ollie out, your Glazer's in, because you are directing your energy in the wrong place. It's completely the wrong place. Like, we had the fix apparently with Van Gaal. We had the Super Mourinho. He comes in, fixes all the problems. Board don't back managers. Like, get over it. What it does tell me, because we're so inconsistent, is we'll probably win against City. Because we've lost this game, it probably means we'll beat City. Do you know what I mean? We'll get a result. Should we be winning? No, we should not. We should not be winning this game. The ups for us, we've got Cavani, Martial and Fred, who have had a week off. I like that. Still, for me, I think Cavani is still the best striker in the world in terms of movement. He can cause you problems. Am I worried about City? You've got to worry about City. For one, they got Pep, like, and the players they've got. Yannicka, is Aguero fit?
Yeah, they said that he's fit, and then last time he was fit ahead of the last game, but they said that he was feeling some niggles, and then now Pep said they've disappeared. So apparently what he's going to do is play him tonight for a little bit to get him match fit so that he can play against United. But knowing Aguero, probably get injured tonight. So, yeah, but I think we need Aguero. We've needed a striker all season. Obviously, Gabby was injured at the beginning. He came back. Gabs he does a lot off the ball. So a lot of fans that don't watch City, they'll be like, oh, he's not good, he's not Aguero.
No, I see that.
Yes, he's not Aguero, do you know what I mean? No one is Aguero.
Mm-hmm.
So,
this is true.
Yeah, it's hard to replace Aguero anyway. But he does do a lot for City off the ball. And somebody said it the other day, and I kind of agree, we actually defend better when we've got Jesus on because he holds the ball up, and he gives more time and he gives space to the other players. So, I don't know who he will start. I don't know if he'll start Gabby and then bring Aguero on. I'm not sure. But they both offer something different. But I think big games, you need your Aguero. He turns up every time. So
yeah,
I'd like
I agree.
to see him play.
Would you both say it's up in the air? Like anything can happen because it's a derby. Do you know what I mean? It's not like Man United playing Southampton or West Brom. Do you know what I mean?
Listen, if there's a huge mentality problem at Manchester United with the players. I don't care about this whole manager thing. Again, it's a lazy thought. You don't need a manager to get you up for games when you're a top professional footballer.
Yeah.
You don't need that. So forget this whole Ollie out thing. Like, forget this. People driving me nuts with it. If the players turn up, we get a result. It's as simple as that. It's the whole mentality. If we start the game the way we've been starting second halves, we get a result. We do. I'm sorry. Like, what will happen is we'll have two managers that want to play quick, fast, attractive, quick touch football. When Man City do it, they are the best at it right now in the world for me. Like, they are the best at it in the world. Barcelona and Real Madrid, they've all dropped off. Our players need to turn up. And this is the issue. This is why you cannot call a Manchester United game right now. Because if a Fred comes in and he turns up, has a good game, he nicks the ball off of anybody. If he doesn't turn up, he dilly-dallies, he loses the ball in our box. So there's no consistency. It's so hard to call Man United games right now. I just feel that these players losing last night will turn up. Will turn up this weekend. I think we'll see Fred back in, Cavani, Martial, Rashford up top. He has to go for that. We'll probably see Luke Shaw back in rather than Telles. I don't know about... I'd like to see Van der Beek more in there because I think he can cause them a problem. They're not going to want to pick him up. His movement in the middle is very good. Will Bruno turn up? That's the thing. For me, with Man City, the big thing I'm worried about, actually, it might surprise you, is Kyle Walker. Okay. Kyle Walker getting forwards with a Luke Shaw or a Telles and a Martial playing on our left. That's a major worry. Obviously, Aguero is always the worry. I just feel we're going to get something out of this game. I feel that one or two things are going to happen. It's going to be a 5 or 6-0 loss, or we're going to win the game 3-2, 3-1, something like that.
We always seem to do badly against City at Old Trafford, don't we? And then when we go to the Etihad, we usually get a really good result. Would you agree with that, Yannicka? Would you? And who out of the United squad right now are you most worried about?
To be honest, like I don't think you can ever call a derby, because ever since I was a kid, like United were miles better than us, and we would still go there and get results. So it's interesting because we didn't start winning at Old Trafford until the last sort of 10 years, and then we seem to win more there than we do at home, which is strange, but it tends to happen. I think Rashford always plays really well against City, so I'm not looking forward to him. Bruno, I don't know. I know he's not done that well in the bigger games, people are saying. I don't really watch United all the time, but you probably will get a penalty the way that we play. So he will probably score that, or at least a free kick. I think City are hard because we're inconsistent as well. I just think the way Man United play football is what we hate. We hate teams that sit back and then counter us, and we're not the best when there's a counter-attack. So I think you will have chances, and you tend to be a little bit more clinical than us. So, we'll probably miss 3 chances at one end. You'll have 1 chance and score, and then the game's 1-0 Man United. And then, I don't know, if we score first, I think we'll win. If you score first, we won't win. Like, that's the way City are at the moment. But on terms of who's better, then I'd say City are the better team. But that's not how football works. Do you know what I mean? You go out there and, I think Ollie will play football that frustrates us, and that might lead to a win for Man United. So I hate to say it, but I think, especially after the back of exit in Europe, I just think your players have to be up for it. They have to be. So
we're not quite.
hoping
We've
we win.
got one foot in the Europa League. Like, come on, Thursday nights now and Sundays. No.
That's tough as well, though. Look who's in there. Look at who's in Europa. I don't think it's ever been this tough.
It might get harder
Like
at the end of the
Inters,
night.
Madrids. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. It's a tough one. The sooner we're out of Europe, the better. We need to focus on getting top 4. Like, I really believe that this season, the chance in the league is just it's just too congested this season. But I disagree about Man United and Man City. I think if we go a goal down, we win the game. These players need kickstart.
Yeah, maybe. You tend to come back,
These Man United players.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the only way they can do it.
I just think with City, it's interesting because when we scored, well, it depends because Leicester, I think we scored first. But then we gave away 3 penalties. So when you're giving away 3 penalties in a game, you're not really asking to win. But I think, I don't know, with City, like, they crumble a little bit. So I don't know. I think we'd probably have to go 3-0 up to win, I think. Because if it could be like a last night, where you're coming back. And I think if you did come back, say we were 3-0 up and you came back to 3-2, City are probably battling it. That's the only thing. So
yeah, I agree with that with City. Their big thing is when they're really under pressure, if they've conceded a couple of goals already, they really struggle to hold on to leads.
Yeah.
Like they go for the extra goal rather than holding on for the lead. Like Fernandinho, you need a new one. You need to get his younger brother or something. Like, he's the conductor, man. I love that guy. I shouldn't be saying that about a City player, but when you see a player that good, I think that's the downfall for City, and that's where Bruno will come into it. That's the area he will exploit when De Bruyne pushes forwards and Mahrez is forwards. Those are the areas we can pick up. Again, though, I am worried about Kyle Walker. I think that is I think that will be your biggest outlet. I think Pep will try and expose that. He'll put pressure on the Freds, the McTominays, the Aaron Wan-Bissakas, the Lindelofs. He'll press them because he's a smart guy, and that's what you should be doing. It's how they handle the pressure. Can they move the ball quickly? If they can move the ball quickly, and we play a Van der Beek who shows for the ball, we can frustrate City.
Yeah.
If they dilly-dally like they do 50% of the time, they do. That's past the poor decisions. Dilly-dally, Wan-Bissaka happens. We know what these players are, right? But if that happens, you're gonna be winning the ball on the edge of our box, and you'll just be camped there. Like, the whole thing with Man United is stop us getting out. So I just think your wing backs, or however you play it, are going to have a massive effect on the game. Because Martial's not going to track Kyle Walker. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Cancelo's actually been one of our best players this season, so I'd like him to start. I don't know who Pep will go with. You never know with Pep, but I think it's the thing with City at the moment is it's like you say, if the players turn up, it's fine. If they don't, that's when we've got a problem. And I think Fernandinho has been a big miss for us this season. He hasn't been playing, and when he has, it's not been regular. And I think I've always said he's my favourite player. I love Fernandinho. And I always say we need him. And people say like, oh yeah, but De Bruyne's our most important player. Yes, De Bruyne is pretty much the person that creates everything that we have right now. But we need Fernandinho in there, because when Fernandinho is not there, all you have to do is stop De Bruyne and you pretty much stop City. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with Fernandinho in there, he's stopping them counterattacks. Do you know what I mean? Or at least putting a foot in. Even if he has to drag someone back, he's doing it. Whereas Rodri is a little bit too nice. Like, he's good with the ball. Like, his stats are actually quite good. Like, a lot of people watch him and say he's rubbish. But I think, again, it's the same problem with Jesus. I think everyone's comparing them to, Rodri's being compared to Fernandinho, and Gabby is being compared to Aguero. They're different players, so they're never going to look as good. But yeah, I think I'm hoping he plays Fernandinho, but apparently he's going to play him tonight. So if he plays him tonight, I don't think he will start. But I think we need him desperately if we're gonna, play well. But I think if you give us, I think I watched the first half against Southampton. If you play like that against City, we will put at least some of them chances away because they just weren't clinical. So yeah, if we can kind of get, I don't know, I don't want to see a possession football game where it's just 90% City and nothing to show for it. We need to actually put the ball into the net. I don't care how we do it. I'm hoping because it's Old Trafford, we do tend to like it there. But saying that, David Silva was the main guy. He loves Old Trafford and he's not there anymore. So, yeah.
We haven't been good at home. We have not been good at home. That's...
The other thing with derbies is like form goes out the window because right now City are in decent form, but it's a derby. So I'm never confident. I know I'm not saying we're not the better team because I think City are the better team, but it's just derby day is derby day. And I've seen Benjani mash up a Man United that won the treble. Like it can happen. So yeah, I think we'll see what happens. But I think it depends on who he starts and how we play. Because, some games we just look like we're never going to score, even if we play all night. If we have one of them games, obviously you will exploit that and you will win. I can't see it being a 0-0. You will win.
We haven't been clinical either, though. Yeah. We've been really poor in front of goal. Honestly, like last night is a perfect example. Like it's half an inch, that free kick from Bruno. Like it's fine margins with us. Martial's been off. Completely off. Greenwood's been off for him. We're not really for a counter-attacking style of football. That's fine, but if you can't put the ball in the back of the net, you just become exposed the whole time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you think there's
a tough one? It's a tough one. Again, it's about players turning up.
Yeah,
that's what I was just about to say. Like, it's very rare that Man City don't turn up or don't have that mentality because they've got Pep, who's always psyching them up. And you're looking at Man U recently, it always seems to be half-time talks that make the difference. So would you say that, Yannicka? Would you say that the confidence in Man City going into this game is much more than what Man United have got at the moment?
It should be. Pep did say at the beginning that he was going to... he was saying that basically we were focusing on the next game. So he'll always say we're focusing on the next game. But I feel like we were focused more on the Champions League. So our results before we kind of qualified in the group weren't that great. And then now we see we're safe in the group. We seem to have got a bit better outside of the Champions League. So I don't know whether that not being in our head anymore is going to push us on a little bit. I think we do need a run of wins. We need, back-to-back wins. We can't just be winning one and then losing or winning two and then drawing. Like, it needs to be consistent. I don't know if that's going to start this weekend or whether it'll be next weekend, but we really need that as a club. I think I do agree that it kind of is who turns up. I think as much as Man City are going to be on a high because we're through in Europe, also getting kicked out of Europe should boost your players because they should think, we need to go more for the league. We need to do better in the league now. So it might give you a boost. But it's hard to call. I don't like predicting derbies. Like, I'd love to be confident and say, City are going to smash you, but it doesn't seem to be like that with Manchester derbies. But our players, they should be up for it. Pep should have them up for it, and I'd expect them to go out there to win. And hopefully we can do that. But I think at the same time, you've got people like Rashford always turn up in derbies. Even Pogba turns up in derbies. So
I don't think he's going to play.
You don't?
I don't.
I don't know if he'll start.
I don't think Ollie can play him. I don't think he can play him. Like after all of this, I think I'd be happy if Pogba never plays again for United. I'd like him to come out one way or the other and say one thing or the other and just say, look, If he says, "Look, I want to leave," great, fine. If he comes out and says, "I'm not leaving," great. But what he does have to do is come out and address the fans. For it to allow your agent to do that is disgusting. Like, that's disrespect not just to the club but to the fans. So for me, he can't play. He can't play for me. As much as I love him, he can't play.
Indiana, do you
go on.
Just wanted to say just about that. Why isn't anyone at Man United going up to Pogba in training or whatever and going, look, you need to do one or the other? Like the captain, Maguire, should be going up to him and going, look, you need to sort this out now. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be, you've either got to sack your agent or you've got to come out and apologise. Do you know what I mean? And he's done neither. So I'm with you 100%. He shouldn't play him. But then he played him yesterday, didn't he? And he's kind of like sort of made it look like, oh, I need you now, you know, like, even though you've made me look like an idiot and the whole club and all the fans, I'm still going to have to pick you because I've already picked you now since that outburst from Mino Raiola.
But I think the club would have known this. I think the club already know that he's leaving. That's why we got Van der Beek.
Mm-hmm.
That's, you know, Ollie might not be buying the players, but he signs off on them. He's the first manager to get that in his contract, that he can sign off on the player. Mourinho couldn't get that out of them. Do you know what I mean? So it's about navigating the board, isn't it? And navigating the owners and the board, and the football comes second, because if you can't navigate them, you get nothing. So Pogba's already leaving, so they're probably already comfortable with the idea that he's leaving. When it comes to Pogba coming out, like, whether you want to leave or not, you cannot allow your agent to come out before games or in the middle of the season to say things like this. Pogba's actually been performing since this news came out, or it was whispered at first, wasn't it? And then Raiola came out with it. Pogba's been performing. He's been turning up. So what does that tell you? Does that tell you that he wasn't trying before? Does that tell you that actually he was just unhappy and now he is happy because he's comfortable with the decision he's made, that he's going to leave and now he can play with a little bit more freedom? He doesn't feel trapped, if you like. I don't know, but should he come out and address it? Yes, he should. Straight away. Straight away he should come out and address it. He should be turning around to his manager, to his agent, and saying, how can you come out and say things like this? Like, you should sack him straight away. He's caused him nothing but problems at all. At no stage has he done him any favours at all. So again, if he's happy with this agent, why would I want him at my club? Like, no matter how good you are.
Do you know what
if this was Ronaldo, I'd be saying the same thing. Like, no matter how good you are, don't be causing problems at a club that's already full of problems. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what? We've got Lingard as well, who deals with Mino Raiola, haven't we? So I just see more trickiness in the future for us, and he's going to probably get more players. Yannicka, I just want to ask you, has there ever been a player at your club that's been represented by Mino Raiola? I'm not too sure. I haven't actually looked at it.
I know Pep won't work with him. That's the only problem, because I think he doesn't like him. Fergie didn't like him either, to be fair.
That's right.
But yeah, I think Pep has... We've had a few sort of... it's the same with, I think, Mendes, who is Koulibaly's. We struggled to get that one over the line because... So sometimes these agents, I know for our club, the closest example to Pogba would be Yaya Toure, because his agent was on one and he used to come out and say wild things, and Yaya didn't really shut it down. He kind of just agreed with it. Like, he even came out and said, you know, Pep's racist. And like, even if you think that, it's just like, you can't be in a club and then he's calling your manager racist and you're just there like, okay, yeah, I agree. Like, it was very toxic. So when Yaya left, it was quite toxic towards the end. But the birthday cake thing is the weirdest one for me, because Man City, what they have is City TV. So what happens is, at the end of I think it's like every month, I think, they'll have like an episode and it'll show the players in training. It just clips from different parts and it'll show them, you know, getting on the plane or just all these different clips, right? And they had, because Yaya's birthday was the day we won the league. And after they won the league, they all got on a jet they all got on a plane and they went to Abu Dhabi. And on the plane, there's a video which one of the players posted, and I think it's on that City TV video, where they're singing Happy Birthday to Yaya, and he's got his headphones on and he's just sat there, and they bring a cake. And then they get to Abu Dhabi and the sheikh has got a cake for Yaya. So it's strange because I already watched something that showed him get 2 birthday cakes. And then all of a sudden the agent's coming out saying they forgot his birthday. It's a bit weird. Like, it was a bit of a weird thing because there's evidence there that he got cakes and they don't, obviously they're not going to forget his birthday, but at the same time, the priority on that day was to win the league. It's not going to be, it's Yaya's birthday. So
he's probably still going through that cake. You know what I mean? He's probably got so many, like he doesn't ever have to buy a cake again for his birthday after all that. But look, the agents as well. I mean, Mino Raiola made 40 million out of bringing Pogba into United. You know, making money from the club anyway, and same as Pogba, and same as what with Yaya Toure. You know what I mean? So I think as an agent, you should just shut your mouth. You know, be thankful.
Just don't deal with him. Just don't deal with him, Matt. That's the thing is, don't empower them. Don't empower them. It's very different, like, between Pogba and Yaya. Yaya was running the league.
Yeah.
Pogba's not running the league, let's be honest. As good as he is,
You
like,
run that. That's all.
yeah, exactly that. Like, I love the guy as a player. He's full of quality. Don't get me wrong. And United have not backed him or any manager in terms of buying the right players to fit around him, because he's not a Yaya. You need certain players around him to get the best out of him. He's not the missing piece. He's the guy you build around. Whereas Yaya can go into any team and he will run it. I hate to say it, he's a City player, but if I had to pick one of my favourites that ever played for City, he's probably it. I'll be honest, he's probably it. He was that good. Yeah. Just don't deal with these agents. Just don't deal with them. Don't empower them at all.
I think with Pogba, like, he's been unhappy for a little bit. Like, it's been obvious, and I think he's probably just thinking, if this is going to get me out of the club, then so be it. Because I just think he's not happy. I think he should have left probably in the summer, because he wasn't happy last season either. And I think I think sometimes when a player stays too long, it becomes toxic. It's kind of like if we say Leroy Sané was in a contract for an extra 2 years and he was still here now, it would have become toxic, because he would have been like, look, I want to be in Munich. You know, I want to be there. And, you know, it was bad enough that we ended up keeping him for an extra year and, you know, kind of asking him to stay. And he was like, no, I want to go. So I think City do say as a club, you know, even if Aguero turned around tomorrow morning and said, look, I want out, they would support him to move on, because he's done so much for the club. I know it's different with Pogba, but he's done so much for the club. To turn around and say, no, you're staying, just creates toxic environment. It's the same with Messi now at Barcelona. He's their greatest ever player. And, you know, he's going to go out in a bad way because the way they've handled him. They would have been better off just saying, look, you want out, thanks for what you've done, and, you know, we're going to let you go. But they haven't done that. So now it's probably going to be quite toxic when he does leave. So, yeah, I think Pogba should go. I think he needs to go now, because it's not going to get better. And hopefully, for his sake, he does well elsewhere.
I think that's the thing. The thing is, we've never backed a manager and getting the players around him. When you buy Paul Pogba, you know what you're getting. These people in charge, they have no idea. Like, they literally have no idea. Again, Ollie out, wasted energy. I'm going to keep saying it. Like, I can't help myself with that one. They didn't buy the players to fit around Pogba. The guy's not happy. All he ever gets is heat at Manchester United. That's all he ever gets. Like, I'd like to see the guy go off and win something big. I'd love to see him go back to Juve, go to PSG, anywhere, and just win something, because I rate him as a player. It's unfair that he gets all of that heat. Like, he's put in a category of the saviour in terms of players, which is wrong. Let's be honest, Bruno's had a much bigger impact than Pogba did.
Great.
A much bigger impact in terms of results. So he's not working out for us anyway. He's not in the plans. He's definitely not in the board's plans. when you look at a player. So let him move on. Stop giving him all that heat. Let him go and win something, and we'll see the best from him. We'll enjoy him playing for someone else. Let's do that. That's how I feel about it, anyway.
I agree with that, guys. Just to finish it off, I know it's difficult. Like you said, Yannicka, you know you don't like to do this sort of thing, but your predictions of the match on Saturday. What do you think the result will be?
It's a tough one. I think it'll be 2-1. But if Man United win, it'll be 3-2. I think City will score 2. But it's whether Man United can come back or not. So yeah, I'd say hopefully 2-1 City.
What about you, Indiana? What do you reckon, mate? Confident?
Have to be, don't I? Have to be. We've already had one loss this week. Yeah, I like the 3-2. 3-2 sounds about right. It's either 3-2 United or it'll be like a 4-1 City. That's how it will go.
I'm just going to say a draw because I just don't know. I just have to go in the middle, Malcolm in the middle. 2-2.
Listen. With Man United, all you can say is right now the worst result and the best result. You can't sit on the fence and say draw anymore because you never know who's going to turn up. It's never going to be a draw.
I don't think derbies usually are. We have had draws in the past, but I think if it is a draw, it'll be 0-0, and I think it'll be that both teams fail to score. Because I think if we're 1-0 up and you come back 1-1, you'll probably go on and win the game. I can't see, or the other way around, maybe if you go 1-0 up and we get back into it, we might go on and win the game. So
it nearly finishes off as a draw, though, didn't it? You remember, like when
there's been a few
Percy goal as well, the 3-2.
Yeah, Michael Owen as well. There's loads. Well, he came back and won it. It was a draw late on. I think it was 3-3. Craig Bellamy, and then he came on in
He was great.
20th minute of extra time and scored 4-3. So yeah, I don't think the way our players are and the players we've got in the squad, there's people in both teams that will want to win that game. So I don't think it'll be a draw unless it's 0-0 and we both just completely fail to score.
No, there'll be goals. There will be goals. Both managers know this could be the kickstart to the season. The derby is the kickstart to the season for both clubs. So there will be goals.
Agreed. Thank you so much for joining us today, running out of time. Do you want to shout out your social media platforms and let everyone know where they can find you? Start with you, Yannicka.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. My Twitter is @Yannicka, YANNICK, and then 3 A's. And my YouTube is YanCity, ENT. Find me on YouTube.
Brilliant. Go for it, Indiana.
So my Twitter is @FirstXI_TV and YouTube channel The First XI, First 11. Thanks for having me on. Loved it.
Brilliant.
Nice. Good show as always.
Nice and quick, you know what I mean? I never like to make it 2 hours because I get people going, oh my God, 2 hours video, really?
Yeah.
Watch this. I'm like,
yeah.
Steady, like, don't worry.
And you know the other thing as well, right? Everyone's going to be on everyone's streams, like the derby. You will. Yannicka will.
I know no one knows any City fans. It's like me.
Do you know any?
You're the first one.
Yeah, I've been going to football for a long time, but I like my Twitter. Like most of my followers are City fans. That's why when I retweet like stuff from United fans, everyone gets onto him, and then my United fan friends always say like, "Why are you retweeting me?" But it's like because like when I repost something, at least 1,000 City fans are going to see it. So if you're triggering them, you're going to get replies. Whereas like outside of Twitter, like most of my friends support United or Arsenal. But I've been going to football for so long. I know people. Like when I go to football, I know there's people that I know, but they tend to be like men that are not my age. So yeah.
They don't do the social media
I
thing.
see.
No, not like that. I go with my dad in it, so my dad chats to everyone. Like my dad makes friends. I'll go toilet and I'll come back, and my dad's made a friend with some City fans.
That's brilliant.
Well, guys, thank you so much. We're Football United TV, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Go check us out and go check out these two as well. Amazing content, really good opinions, and thank you so much, you two, for coming on. Much a pleasure.
Thanks.
Thanks for having me.
Take care and have a good one.